Imagine your brain is playing a trick on you right now, and you don't even realize it. This happens to millions of people every single day all around the world. Today we're going to talk about some of the most well-known mental behaviors, but heads up, this isn't a psychiatry lecture. The goal here is to shed light on concepts that are often taboo. Let's start with depression. Many people think it's just being sad. In reality, it's so much heavier than that. A depressed person can sleep for 10 hours and wake up just as exhausted as if they hadn't slept at all. They can laugh with their friends, and yet, inside, feel an overwhelming emptiness, like everything has turned gray. This isn't a lack of willpower. It's a real illness, one that affects the brain the same way a cold affects the body. Next, there's generalized anxiety. It's like having a fire alarm in your head that goes off for no reason. An anxious person can worry for hours over a simple text message that went unanswered, imagining the worst possible scenarios. Their heart races, their hands shake, even though objectively, nothing bad is actually happening. The body reacts as if there's danger when there isn't any. Now let's talk about bipolar disorder. Picture an extreme emotional seesaw. For several days, the person feels full of energy, talks fast, has tons of ideas, feels invincible. This is called a manic phase. But then, without warning, they crash into a deep depressive episode, where they can't even find the strength to get out of bed. These are two extremes in the same body, in the same person. There's also obsessive-compulsive disorder, better known as OCD. It's not just liking things clean. It's having a terrifying thought, like, what if I forgot to turn off the stove and my house burns down? This thought comes back over and over again. And the only way to calm that fear is to check the stove, sometimes 15 or 20 times. The person knows it's excessive, but they can't stop themselves, otherwise the anxiety becomes unbearable. Another striking disorder is schizophrenia. Some people affected by it hear voices that feel completely real, as if someone is truly speaking right into their ear. Others may believe things that aren't true, like thinking people are watching them, when that's not actually happening. In this disorder, the brain struggles to tell the difference between what's real and what isn't. And finally, there's a rarer but fascinating disorder, dissociative identity disorder. It often appears in people who experienced severe trauma during childhood. To survive overwhelming pain, their brain essentially created several different parts of themselves. Some people don't even remember what they did for several hours, as if another part of them had taken control. What's important to take away from all this is that these disorders don't make people crazy or weak. Most of the time, they're mechanisms the brain developed to try to protect itself, in its own way, often after too much suffering or stress to handle. So the next time you come across someone who seems different, distant, or has behaviors you don't understand, remember that their brain might just be trying to survive in its own way. And do you think you'd be able to recognize these signs in someone close to you, or even in yourself?